Hi everyone, this is Gail D'Souza, and today I'm going to be talking about COVID-19 to cure 2020. Now, we all understand that there's this virus that is spreading globally, and how people are responding to it is actually with one of fear. So, unfortunately, in this fear consciousness, there's a lot of misinformation, and people are not thinking rationally. This illness seems to be attacking the most vulnerable and um, effectively the elderly. But somehow everyone in the world thinks they're all vulnerable. But vulnerable people who are actually in hospitals or have illnesses, or young, to a degree, young children, and also the elderly. But if you're a fit and able-bodied person, you're not deemed to be considered a vulnerable case. Things like you have to think a bit logically. For example, people with asthma and people who have um, different diabetes and things like that, they're still on borderline vulnerable. But at the same time, without being pecking order, it's using logic and sensibility in this time. Now, I am a part-time love coach, and at the same time, I am working in the dental industry. And it's shocking at what is going out there of how people are overreacting. We in the dental world are frontline. We're dealing with people who have dental problems, and we're actually most closest contact with someone's mouth, and if they cough and spit and everything like that, we are more exposed than any industry. Even the hospitals, at least they know a condition of a person, they have the sufficient resources. But the reason I also wanted to address this is because it's for the smaller businesses that are out there. It's okay for people to take time off sick, and it is going in insurance and companies and everything like that. But are we really serious in what we're doing? Because this is going to have an effect. Everything has a cause and effect. So people who are just taking, oh, I must, COVID's going to affect me and my family and everything like that, and are being really not reasonable in this situation. Do you want to walk into a world where you've got no job because the economy is crashing because of fear consciousness? This is the question. So that means no holidays. Your homes are at risk and all sorts like that. You have to think logically in a time of crisis. This form of virus um, is a form of a flu, and some people are going to die of flu, and some people aren't. Unfortunately, that is the circle of life. And although we don't want anything to happen to our loved ones, we also have to be sensible in realizing that we're all going to die, and some people, it's their time is up. But in the meantime, we still have to function in life. Our businesses still have to function. We still have to produce food. These people who are being on the front line, who are being very positive in this adverse effect. But what is also disturbing is that people like, for example, nurses and doctors, they may be doing a 48-hour shift, and then all of a sudden they're just going to the shops to get some food, and all the selfish people have just taken all the food. So the people who are frontline health workers aren't getting their rest, their food, their care. There are even people who are stockpiling the medications, and they should really be named and shamed. But the selfish people who are actually sitting at home watching TV, I mean, I'm sorry, wake up, wake up. That's all I have to say. Now, at the same time, there's a number of us that are staying positive. By staying positive, we understand that the vibrational of our thoughts has an effect. And if we're giving positive thoughts out there, we're going to get positive circumstances. I can give you several examples where this is a has helped me out this week. For example, when there was everyone panicking, but panic buying the toilet paper. Initially, I was stepping into the fear. Oh no, there's not going to be any toilet paper. But then I said to myself, no, let's be happy. Let's just remember that there's a source that is greater than this, and there's a source that is greater than this COVID, that is actually allowing us to have a cure if we think with cure consciousness. And with that in mind, I ended up walking, and at the shops at the point of time where I was going to get toilet paper, they were either stocking up, or the shops would have some, or if not, I went and quietly spoke to the manager and said to them, what's the situation? And he said, it's just that people are hoarding, and the logistics of their drivers bringing in stock is once a week. So they have stock for the week. But if someone's taking their stock on Monday, there's not going to be any stock until the following Monday. So hence the reason why the shops are going to be empty. We were, in particular in the UK, preparing for all this crisis because we had our own form of crisis, which was Brexit. Now, Brexit in itself has caused a lot of negative vibes towards hatred to different diverse communities. Is affecting the Asian community because people are coming up with their racist physical attacks, and if not verbal attacks, or if not indirect racism, by thinking that every Chinese person or Asian person or everything has coronavirus, which is pure ignorance. So why we need to shift from all these negative thoughts is because we want to be in a world where we're creating the cures. So if the collective consciousness is moving to the mind of cure, then we are sending and creating space for cures to come in. So I ask people to take a pause, just take a deep breath, and really understand what is actually going in your neural network. And we want to obviously change the pattern of information that we are giving to say that we live in a safe world and there's cures out there. We're allowing for a shift of energy and moving this energy from lack and fear and scarcity into cures, results, solutions. And this will happen. We already can see that China is now stepping into the success, and in their times of need, they all came together. They are now in the position where they're stronger than ever to actually go out and help Italy. And if, for example, we in the UK go into the crisis, we have to remember countries will pull together and help us. But where we've had, for example, our Brexit, we have shown a lot of disrespect to communities around the world, which we need to obviously look within to thank the world for its support. But I'd like to say we're not going to go that way. We need to change our neural patterns and our DNA codes of information, because when this coronavirus came to us, we didn't have enough information, so that's why we stepped into the fear. But now our bodies and the information in our mind have absorbed certain information. We need to take the positive one so that we can move into a world of cure. And also in the future, we may have other diseases that could be more life threatening, but we can't react in the same way with the information when we have a panic situation. We have to come at it at a logic way so that we are always evolving to find solutions and cures. So for those, what can we do now? Well, we need to, one, discern the information that we are getting. We need to also calm down our body. Can't stop watching the news, for example, because the news is just permeating negative information. We need to look at how we can help other people in our community, especially if there's more vulnerable people. We could even do things like positive affirmations, because we're changing the codes in our minds to come up with more positive scripts. They could be more from the beauty of this, we have to see it. They could be more creative solutions. We may be finding cures as the various medical institutions around the world are coming up with more solutions to possible other illnesses. Um, we we need to also understand that unfortunately we have not had a strong leader in the UK. Our current prime minister did not earn the position to become a prime minister. He got it because of default, because we were picking a prime minister through desperate times. So desperate steps that the prime minister's taken, because he hasn't got the clue to even think of anything logic, and his other parties haven't even aren't even been front facing. They're actually the back of our prime minister and telling him what to do. But unfortunately, we've got a prime minister that hopefully we won't see much of soon. But if we do, we as the community, as the UK, will have to obviously put a number of pressures. We should have never been closing down hospitals. We've been seeing that for the last 8 years, closing down and reducing hospitals. We don't have enough police. They're shipping in the army and military people, but ultimately they're not what in their camouflage uniform. What are they going to do? The An illness that we can't see is going to attack the body if it's going to attack the body. But what we can do is obviously build our immune system. We do need to take rest and sleep, but ultimately we do have to be positive in this time, and we will come through that because there is better days coming. And we just need to be encouraging each other to work together, and we will come out of this. So, COVID-19, you need to get out the way, as we are in 2020 and we are creating cures for different illnesses, and we're setting a blueprint in our mind for future illnesses where we will always find solutions and find cures. And 2020 is the year. On a final note, we need to be creating a new economy, where our new economy is that we're seeing abundance, joy, happiness, wealth, and positivity for humanity. This is so important. We cannot be driven by people who have allowed this negativity throughout the world to be spread. We want to be with leaders who are creating a better world, a better future for all. Thank you.